county property pursuant to local government code section 263.152, parentheses A, parentheses 3, parentheses C, recycling.
Well, as you see, I didn't actually attach the pictures for that, but I do have them on request. This is at the sheriff's department, and they have some stuff that's you can ask your beavers. They just it would probably benefit the county more monetarily to go ahead and just do this, crushing it, recycling it, versus trying to get this stuff to auction. It's nice.
And a lot of them can't sell because of serial numbers and stuff like that. So this stuff is ordered under instructions, but it's awarded to the county, so we go to the county.
And this is all, everything's according to statute and everything. Okay. So we have a motion from Commissioner Phillips. I have a second. Which one? Mr. Hunt, second motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Oh, all right, item number 18. Lisa also to discuss and consider, item number 19. We'll do that again. To discuss and consider approving the purchase of a Dura Patcher from Texas Patcher for Precinct 4 Road Bridge. You have the information on that.
Yes, sir. I believe you received in your packets the 3 quotes that were provided. Commissioner Allen's brought me the need for a Dura Patcher for that amount.
I'll second. We have a motion from Commissioner Phillips, a second from Commissioner Allen. Do we have any other questions? All in favor say aye. All right. And finally, number 20 is Lisa to discuss and consider approving the purchase of John Deere 6110 M cab tractor for Precinct 4 Road and Bridge, the amount of $73,416.88, utilizing the cooperative contract number TASD 447-14.
As you see, this one exceeds the $50,000 limit, and utilizing a co-op, we've been having to go out for a formal bid on this particular piece of equipment. So Commissioner Allen also needs this.
Because I don't have one to put a boom mower on, and so I have to have a tractor, and then our next bid, and go out for the boom mower to one. Right now, we're marked precinct 2.
I'm wearing his out. We're just gonna leave it over.
So we'll let y'all discuss that.
I'll make a motion for this.
So you put that form of motion and.
I'll second.
All right, you'll second part of it, yeah. All right. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed. All right. Next one, I think we can move on through these and then take a break right before we get to the executive session. Item number 21 is to discuss and consider designating a senior commissioner to serve in the absence of the county judge per state ethics and emergency management guidelines. We discussed this in the workshop the other day. Steve, quickly, if you want to tell us the reason for this. This is in case if I'm out of the county or incapacitated or something, somebody has to.
If you're out of the county, we're still going to hunt you down. If something happened to you where you could not act in your capacity, we need a line of succession. And currently, in the emergency management plan, it goes to the commissioner with the longest tenure on the court, which right now we've got 2 and 2. So then it falls to the age. The oldest of the 2 becomes the senior commissioner. And if all things are equal, then it goes to the precinct number. So precinct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So either way, you're kind of called.
Yeah.
So to have a motion to nominate or to designate Commissioner Phillips as the senior commissioner on the commissioner's court. When I'm not at a meeting, you would act in my place, and if the emergency management stuff, do the same thing. So do I have a motion? Commissioner, had you already accepted? I did. Do I have a second? Commissioner Barber seconded the motion. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All right. Number 22 is to discuss and consider appointing Commissioner Terry Barber and Mike Hunt to the City of Terrell Tax Increment Financing Board of Directors and the City of Terrell Power Center Board of Directors. You have a letter from the City of Terrell which they've requested that the two commissioners that have been listed on the agenda being appointed. Do I have any discussion? Do I have a motion? I have a motion from Commissioner Phillips. Do I have a second? Second from Commissioner Allen. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed, congratulations. Huh? Yeah. So, congratulations. And then item number 23. And Jeff, I think, is here, and so he may have had to leave. Yeah, that he's here. And I know the other firm is still, yeah, y'all are still back there too. We've asked for, let me go ahead and read the agenda item, approving a collections company to pursue collections of road assessment pursuant to Texas Transportation Code 253. And Rebecca, I think I'll let you go into a little more detail about that. It's kind of an unusual situation that we've had that we need to take action on. So do you mind doing that part? We talked about it a little bit the other day, but that was before we'd received the letters of interest from the two firms.
Okay, so this is a precinct 1 issue that's been long-standing for the past 5-6 years. Basically, the county went through the voting and the ballot process under a section in the Transportation Code 253 to do a road assessment, and the property owners for a community within a subdivision voted to bring up the standard of their roads so that the county would pay for it up front, and then they would be assessed the price for that down the road after. And then now the county is charged with maintaining those roads, and that maintenance price is not assessed, so it's just the initial cost of construction. So I believe it's about $800 for the property owner that was on the ballot and then passed. And now the court over the last couple of years has kind of been in the dilemma of how do we collect that funding. And since it's so old, there's additional challenges to that collections process. The county currently uses Purdue and then Linebarger in separate ways, but both firms work for the county. And so back in December, you guys asked us to reach out to both and see if we could get a quote for their services and kind of a plan. And we did, and they were both, really, really nice to the county to get those to us as soon as possible, especially during the holiday season. And both firms that I worked with are here today, so if you have any specific questions, I sent out each one to you guys. They would probably be the ones to ask about the technical questions.
Okay, we do have any questions? Why don't you guys, if you'd like to stand up so we can kind of see who you are, and although we know you, good as well. We have two outstanding firms, I would say, that have offered to do this. This is a pretty unusual situation, I think, from what I've been told. And we do have two bids, or two quotes, or this is a professional service. And would you discuss those briefly, Rebecca?
Sure. So whenever you're talking about a professional services contract, of course, you're looking at competency first and foremost. I mean, since both firms have worked with us, the county in the past, we know that they're competent and they can perform the services. So it's really just who you guys would like to do the project for us. Doug, do you mind going into what Purdue proposes, and then I'll have Jeff do a short, that way I don't mess
Sure, as
anything
far as
up.
what the rates are?
Yes, exactly.
What we have proposed to do is for 15% of any collections that we do have for accounts that we do not end up taking to litigation. If we end up filing a lawsuit on it, the rate would go up to 30%. I'm talking with Ms. Lundberg, I don't anticipate the county wanting us to do that, but it is an option that is available if you choose to go that direction. But our rate is basically going to be 15% of collections.
Okay. And Jill from the Linebarger firm?
Judge, we've been in court, we've been doing delinquent tax collections here since 1985. I told Ms. Lundberg that we would be glad to do the project for no fee. I think it'll be fairly turn forward a project. Be glad to do whatever it takes to get the money collected. We're not going to charge the county for that.
Okay. Rebecca, you have anything else to add?
I don't have anything else to add other than I don't think we can go wrong with either one. So it's just up to the court.
How many property owners are involved in it?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head.
I think there's 102.
It's 102?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a lot more
Well, there's
than I thought.
102 original leads.
Yeah.
Significant amount.
I like zero. Well, I like zero.
Okay. So, we have one firm that's offering to do it, that's the line bar firm at no fee to the county. And the other one is 15% fee plus some other things added on. So we have a motion. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Phillips to go with the line bar law firm, and then a second from Commissioner Allen. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed. And I know this is, Mr. Hunt, this is in your precinct.
Yes, I've driven it, and the road is nice. Still in pretty shape for the time they did it. So, good luck.
Yeah, probably will maybe want to get with the commissioner and talk about, because he'll, I'm going to assume, probably will start getting some calls probably when this goes out. So, thank you very much. Thank to both firms for submitting their qualifications and interest in doing so. Thank you. All righty, next item, item number 24, is to have the auditor's report for December 2016. And I believe you do have the information on that.
Good morning. Call your attention to this one. That was new to you for just a month. This is a condensed report, the beginning of it. All of this is what makes up that report. It's the separate funds that are grouped together according to the way they're grouped on your outside audit report to make it very comparable. If you, we kind of like to look at last year's at this time too. As of December 31st, for just the general fund revenues was $14,000,007. If you look at last year's, it was only $7 million. So we did have a lot more collections that came in and revenues. Your expenditures for that general fund was just a little bit more than what it was last year. But we still did not spend all the money that came in. Our expenditures were under. Benchmark should be probably about 25%, and we collected close to 40% of all the revenue. So that's really, really good. If you go over to page 3, your road and bridge revenues, this is your transfers in and out, kind of gives you an idea of the comparative of last year. Your revenues were way more than your expenditures by quite a bit. So I don't see really any need for alarm. So, anyone have any questions on that?
We're accepting this report as presented by the auditor. It doesn't require approval, but we typically accept it. So does anybody have any questions about any of this report? Not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the report. Commissioner Allen makes that motion. Do I have a second? Commissioner Phillips seconds the motion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed. All righty, thank you, Karen. And now also line item transfers.
No, we still have one more quarterly.
Oh, the quarterly report. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
Item number 25 is to accept the quarterly report for the quarter ending December 21st, December 31st, 2016.
As you can see, comparison to what we were sitting at the end of December for last year too, we've brought in $14,722,980 as compared to $7 million. If you look over to the next page, the chart shows you that we're at 86.96% collections on our property tax and what our different other fees are. Our expenditures are at the 8 million. And you have some other charts and things to look at so you can gauge at what it was, what's causing those.
I looked at both of these reports this weekend, and appreciate the monthly report and also the quarterly report. It really gives us a good idea about where we are as a county. And I appreciate the time that you and KW put into, and your other staff put into this report.
Well, one thing I will call your attention to, as of December 31st, we had like 8 million after we paid all the bills and payroll in the fund balance as compared to 1.3 last year. So, you know, that's just the first quarter, and of course, the revenues are going to slack down on the property side tax, but we still have other revenues that come in and transfers, intergovernmental and grants, so we're sitting in a pretty good place.
Yes, we are.
We just don't go crazy.
Right. All right. Any questions on item number 25 as far as the quarterly report? I have a motion to accept the quarterly report as presented by the auditor. Commissioner Hunt makes that motion. To have a second. Commissioner Phillips seconds the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed. And the line item transfers, item number 26, I believe we were sent those on Friday.
Yes, sir.
Or earlier, actually, I think.
Yeah, we did. Anybody have any questions about the line item transfers? The only really big one I would call to your attention is the county clerk's records archive fund. That's separate from general fund. Those are different fees that she collects, and she's adjusting some money to buy some additional software or upgrade her software.
Right.
Then the other one would be the road bond expenditure for the 1.2 that you approved in an item earlier. So, that, I just kind of want to go over those. Your legal department was successful in working out some negotiations, and we've gotten some additional money that belongs to Road and Bridge Precinct 3. We're wanting to receipt that into a special line item because that's all it can be used for. So that's what the budget amendment was for.
That's the 45,000.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then the other one, we were reimbursed for some insurance claims from TAC, and then we've adjusted those two line items because one was for the SO on an accident, and the other one was, precinct. So we had to adjust those line items so they could get the equipment stuff repaired.
Anybody have any questions about the line item transfer? All right, Commissioner Phillips makes a motion. Do I have a second? Commissioner Allen seconds. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Those opposed. Next is the item 27, the claims for payment. I believe you received that last week, and we discussed. We asked you to go those over. Anybody have any questions about the claim for payment?
Claims for payment are $807,135.95. Lowest I think I've seen it in 5 years. Any questions on any of the claims for payment? A little over 200,000 of that was some of our software maintenances that we paid.
I'll make a motion.
All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Phillips. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Hunt seconds the motion. All in favor say aye. Those opposed. All right, we're going to take a break right before we go into our executive session. I would announce that the executive session deals with Government Code 551072 concerning purchase, exchange, and lease of real property. And when we come back from our break, we will have a motion to go into executive session. So if everybody will take about a 10-minute break, we'll begin back here at 10 minutes.
Gotcha. No.
According to my watch, is 10:26 or 11. So, executive session, item number 29, deliberate purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property for county multi-purpose facility, including Kaufman. Do I have a second? And Mr. Allen seconds the motion. And time is 12:16. So, the next item is to discuss, item number 31 is to discuss taking any action as needed as a result of the executive session. We don't have any action to take, so I have a motion that we exit. We don't have any.
I'm gonna give you a motion that we don't take any action on executive session.
All right, so we have a motion from Mr. Phillips. Do we have a second? Mr. Hunt seconds the motion. All in favor say aye. Okay. We are going to go ahead and exit the regular meeting and go into a workshop, but as part of that workshop, Commissioner Allen has graciously consented to provide pizza for us. And so we're gonna take a break and probably go back into the workshop session just as soon as we can. So I do need a motion to exit the regular meeting. Make a motion. Okay, we have that. And entering into the workshop will be part of that. Commissioner Phillips made the motion, Commissioner Marble seconded. All in favor say aye. No opposed. So we will we'll move the meeting down here, and then we'll wait. We'll go ahead and start the workshop, wait on the pizza to get here.
Yeah, let me call and see how long it'll take. It may be quicker to go get hamburgers from Wings, I don't know.
Okay, well,
Who wants to eat? I need to know that.
well, I do, for sure.
Who's eating?
We're all in.
Everybody?
Not right, we have my lunch over there.
Okay.
And let it be known, this is,
I know you
will reimburse Commissioner Allen for his